We got Auburn at Baylor. This is one of those games that I'll just say this. I truly may have the least amount of feel for this game and how it's going to go. Friday night, it's Fox. Robert Griffin III on the call in McLean Stadium. Okay, a little homecoming for our guy. Worth noting. Auburn is favored by 2.5 points. This spread has been all over the board, so I'll have no idea where it's at during the game. Keep a pulse over at BetMGM. But Auburn favored by 2.5 on the road. If I'm Auburn, go make yourself right, dude. Go make yourself right. Everyone has talked for the longest time around roster talent, around the different level of player they have, around how they should have done this and should have done that and should have closed this game out. No more should anymore for Auburn. You know what you're capable of. You know what you have in that room. You know how talented those dudes are on the perimeter for you in Cam Coleman and Singleton. You know how many stars you have next to your quarterback now. 5 stars from Jackson Arnold coming out of high school. Didn't play like it last year, but he's got mega ability. Go prove yourself right. If I'm Hugh Freeze, you have stayed the course to this point. This is your season. This is your spot now against a really good Baylor football team on the road on national TV to go prove to the country what you're going to be here in 2025 and make a statement. Now, for Baylor, I think their internal temperature is, I almost put why not us here if I'm Baylor. That's a little bit cliche. But honestly, in the Big 12, with all that Baylor brings back, top 12 returning production, bring back your quarterback, bring back a running back in Bryce Washington, who's over 1,000-yard back last year as a freshman. My feel for Baylor is might as well be us. Might as well be us this year. It's uncertainty across college football. We play in the fun uncle of the Big 12, of college football, which is the Big 12. It might as well be us. Might as well go out there against an Auburn team that's trying to get their feet underneath them, and they got to come to our place on a Friday night. Might as well be us in this spot, is how I'd feel if I was Dave Aranda and co. The non-negotiables for Auburn in this spot, you have got to start fast. You've got to. We talk so much around confidence for Jackson Arnold and talk so much around what last year was and trying to create belief. If you go up in this game 14-3, at that point, the buzz starts to fade from McLean Stadium. The vibe for Jackson Arnold's in a good place. A confident Jackson Arnold will get you in a spot in the month of November where you can go compete for an SEC championship. Not backing down from that. They're that talented. But Jackson Arnold being confident is also a pretty big reach, I think, for where they're at right now. Not a reach so much in that it couldn't happen, but a reach in the sense of we haven't seen that from Jackson Arnold for the duration of a college football season in our 1-year sample size we have on the guy. So we'll see what happens there. Non-negotiable for Baylor, though, you got to answer some scores. Baylor is very potent in their own right offensively. So this is not me talking down on what they are as an offense. But I think if you're able to answer scores, you keep your crowd engaged, which would be huge because of what we said with how you got to try to offset Auburn's offense. But maybe more importantly, you keep an Auburn offense at arm's distance. I don't love the thought of Auburn having momentum offensively if I'm Baylor and having to chase them. Because if Jackson Arnold's firing and Cam Coleman's eating and Eric Singleton's eating and then we're running the football, it kind of snowballs to a certain degree. But if Baylor can, again, answer scores and it's back and forth throughout the entirety of the game, the maturity of Baylor, the continuity within this roster, get it to the fourth quarter at home with that quarterback, with your battle scars, I like Baylor in that spot. So do we get it to that spot? Is that our pick? We'll see what happens. The matchups that determine this game, Auburn's wide receiver room against the Baylor secondary. This is the vibe setter, man. This is the music at the party. This is the right guy on the grill. This is the vibe setter for this game in McLean Stadium. If Cam Coleman and Eric Singleton are eating and they're getting after it, what I just said with Jackson Arnold, he's feeling himself. He's got some swag. He's got some confidence. Remember how he looked against Alabama when he was in Oklahoma and he was running for over 100 yards? It was Jackson Arnold told us, a playing free version of that guy. It was him not having to think about too much. He was just kind of doing his thing, playing ball. And when you can kind of be in the zone early on and have your guys winning one-on-one matchups, that's how Auburn starts to make this thing very, very interesting. And I don't want to say ugly because I think Baylor's too good of a football team for it to get ugly, but that's how Auburn would roll in this spot. All right. Also, if Baylor has to match against your secondary, tell you what, man, I've been dialed into the best of my ability to what's been going on during fall camp in Auburn, Alabama. They love their secondary. They love their secondary. They love Keldrick Falk off the edge. They got some guys now on that football team. And if you can play with a lead and put the game on your secondary to try to keep them from matching your scores at that point, Auburn at that point, again, You sense a theme here. Start to roll if that ends up being the case. Now, if not, if Jackson Arnold is struggling and the Baylor secondary is just having a good day, it's Clampington out there, and it's 7 for 17 for 104 yards and 1 pick at the half is Arnold's stat line. Keep going back to confidence, but confidence is one part of this. Maybe you start to press if you're Auburn too. Maybe Jackson Arnold starts to try to fit in some windows he shouldn't. Maybe Dave Aranda starts to break out the blender a little bit, making smoothies for everybody, and Jackson Arnold's not playing his best football. At that point now, you take away the fastball for the Auburn offense. Like, the thing that you would really be worried about if you're Baylor is those receivers. But if you're having Arnold struggle early and those guys aren't getting loose, that plays right into Baylor's hands, in my opinion. Other part of this is how multiple Baylor's going to stay on the ground against this Auburn defense. Because I keep telling you, this Auburn defense is going to be, if nothing else, extremely talented, extremely well coached in DJ Durkin. But Baylor has a unique opportunity here with how they're going to run the football. They got Washington, you know about him. But Sawyer Robertson in the read option game, design quarterback run game, he can real deal go for you now. Go back and watch what he broke off against Colorado a year ago. Like, the kid's got some wheels. If they can set the tone on the ground, we said this for a different preview as well for Alabama and their game against Florida State. But, like, the best defense for Cam Coleman is him not being on the field at all. You can extend drives, take the air out of the football, and say, Eric Singleton, you got to watch this drive, brother, for the better part of the next 10 minutes. If you keep them off the field, if you're Baylor, that's how you squeeze life out of this football game, impose your will, get the crowd into it, and later on in the game, open up some explosives, which maybe at that point, that's how Baylor would start to roll in this game. So this is a game now where I could legitimately, I think, get told the final score today and explain to you what happened. Because I think any scenario is on the table here. If Auburn rolls, okay, cool. Jackson Arnold looked like a 5-star quarterback. Auburn's talent showed up in this game, and, like, that was it. Baylor rolls, well, yeah, Jackson Arnold's been kind of shaky throughout his college career, been a lot of turnovers. That probably persisted. Baylor looked how they looked at the end of last year. Okay, cool. Like, that's how that would go. I don't like this spot for Auburn. I think Auburn's the more talented roster. I think Baylor's the better team, if that makes sense. Like, Auburn could absolutely win this football game. Would not shock me in the slightest, as we've established now throughout the course of this preview, I would hope. But you're telling me we got a quarterback now trying to get his confidence right, and an offense that's trying to find their footing, which they haven't had now really in 2 years under Hugh Freeze, in a game on a weeknight at McLean Stadium with the team with returning production, mojo, belief, momentum, all those things. I don't love that. I do not love that. If they had like a get-right game before this with like a noon kick with ULM on the Plains, maybe I'd feel differently. But this game, to me, would require Jackson Arnold doing something we have not seen him consistently do as a college football player, which is take care of the ball and be a dynamic passer down the field consistently. So with that being said, I think it's back and forth. I think it's close. I'll take Baylor at home. I think final score is 27-24. Baylor wins. Baylor covers. And if I'm Baylor, now we go. Got this win over an SEC team to start the year. Got some other tough games early on with SMU and Arizona State. Now we go. Now from Auburn, back against the freaking wall is go time. But I think Auburn drops that game on the road. Pressure's on. But I think Baylor wins that game and opens some eyes to what's going on out there on the Brazos.